Planning a trip to Victory Lane? Let Atomic Chassis get you there. Atomic Chassis are built with a high attention to detail using superior parts from trusted manufacturers such as PPM, Winters, Bernheisel, Bilstein, All-Star Performance, Vulcan, and many more. With superior craftsmanship and materials, you know Atomic will last. And since each customer becomes a part of our family, you aren't treated like just another number. So visit AtomicChassis.com today to plan your next trip to Victory Lane. Back here on the Atomic Power Racing Hour, where it is time for the first of 2 heat races. These qualifying events will help set the starting lineup for the all-critical 30-lap feature event. Drivers drew randomly for their starting position in these events earlier in the night and are focused on qualifying for the feature redraw. The build-up of the 2012 season getting underway is finally over, so here's the call of the 10-lap event by Rich Bleck.
10 cars ready to go 10 laps. Here's the way they're going to line up. Utica's Aaron Jacobs on the pole to his outside Canadian Kyle Sopaz. Row number 2, Art Halliday and Steve Coit. Row number 3 has the teammates of Shane Tenase and Rob Mason. In row number 4, the Canadian David McDonald along with Rick Miller. And in the back, Brandon Kidd and Greg Bellier. Jacobs and Sopaz lead him to green. Sopaz on the outside, then red number 12 gets a good lead into turn number 1 up on the top of the speedway. Contact for position number 3. Coit and Halliday come together now. Tenase and McDonald tangle it up. As there is mass carnage in turn number 1, caution will have to fly on the speedway. Art Halliday's number 87 limping around the speedway. Looks like he's going to have to go and seek the attention of his crew. David McDonald also involved in that incident. Left front fender damage as Shane Tenase has taken his number 714 pit side. A massive pile up here on the first lap of the Go Nuclear late model season.
When looking at the replay from Tenase's onboard, you will see Halliday in the 87 make contact with Steve Coit in that second red number 12. The collision leaves no room for Shane Tenase or David McDonald as they also collided. The first incident saw Art get airborne, while in the second pileup, Shane's right rear would drive over David's left front. Each of the drivers involved entered the night looking for a boost to their 2012 season after making just limited performances at their weekly Saturday night tracks. Narrow track conditions on the locked down surface were likely the culprit for these 2 incidents and would knock out all 4 drivers from returning to the track and finishing the heat race. That is, once McDonald's crewmen discovered the broken left front shock. This crash would leave just 6 drivers on the track to duke it out for the first checkered flag of the 2012 Tour.
The front row remains the same for this restart. Well, the next 3 spots were taken out in that crash. That's a huge break for drivers like Greg Bellier and Brandon Kidd that move from the back row up into positions where they may be able to get into that all-important redraw. Aaron Jacobs wasting no time on this restart. He jumps out in front of Kyle Sopaz as they bring it back to green and rumble into turn number 1 for the first time. Drivers looking to the inside of the racetrack. Greg Bellier, the black 25, gets shuffled on the line. Rob Mason on the outside takes back the 4th and final redraw spot. But here comes Bellier back to the inside rail, gets a little loose goose off at turn number 4, and it'll be Jacobs leading lap number 1, stretching out his distance over Kyle Sopaz. Sopaz doing his best to hold off Brandon Kidd. Lifts up the left front, and he's got a problem. An issue on the number 12. He will go pit side, and suddenly this race field is down to just 5. Kyle Sopaz, the carrying Place Ontario driver, is retired from this race. Only one of the cars out there will not make the redraw. Greg Bellier in the 25 does not want to make it him. A driver that has been dominant on the Go Nuclear late model tour at times, looking for the win here tonight, drives up the racetrack, and Brandon Kidd able to pull away. Brandon Kidd in the number 14 drives up in turn number 2. All about momentum here down the long back straightaway at the Mohawk International Raceway. Down to the inside goes Greg Bellier, but his car is still a little tight entering the corner. He is pushing the nose, entering that sweepy 3rd and 4th turn. Aaron Jacobs having no problem right now. His 2nd time out this year, the driver out of Utica, former Big Block modified campaigner, hangs on to the race lead. It's the battle for 2nd, though, worth watching. Brandon Kidd out of Syracuse able to pull away for the moment, but here comes Rick Miller, the former modified veteran, driving up the racetrack in the Tenacious Racing number 98. He closes back in on Greg Bellier for position number 3. Bellier able to drive through on the bottom of turn number 4, looking for the momentum, entering the first corner, unable to do so right now. Brandon Kidd able to slam the door shut once again. And here we go for third. Rick Miller down to the inside. Pulls a wheel in front of the number 25 that nearly made contact off of turn number 4. Bellier loose off the corner, gives position number 3 to Rick Miller. Laps winding down this first qualifying heat. It's been all Aaron Jacobs since the drop of the restart green flag. Brandon Kidd holds into position number 2. Third, Rick Miller, but he drives up the racetrack. Bellier closes. Rob Mason, one spot out of a loose drop position. Aaron Jacobs, less than 2 laps left to go. Holding the left front up above the racing surface and having it locked down in the other 3 corners. Coming through turn number 3 and 4 with the white flag being shown. One more circuit around for Aaron Jacobs. Jacobs with limited starts this season did not want to miss the race here tonight. Pulling away from the rest of the pack. A good battle on for second, but it's all behind the number 16. Aaron Jacobs wins qualifying heat race number 1. Second to Kidd, third to Miller, fourth to Bellier, fifth across the line will be Rob Mason in the number 68R as Aaron Jacobs picks up the win.
In just his second time in the car this season, Jacobs made it look easy, picking up the win, and talked about how he did it with me afterwards. Green and checkered, man, thing looked real good out there.
Yeah, car was really fast, starting up front. That's a pretty good starting spot.
Got to miss that jingle behind you, too. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I didn't know what went on. I walked through the pits and looked at a couple cars and said, wow, I missed all that.
Of course, you didn't get a good jump off the initial start, did you?
I think the other guy was pretty antsy because, I thought we were supposed to go coming out of 4, not going into 3.
Oh, so you were happy when that yellow came out?
Yeah, so I started going in 3 next time.
Any concerns then as you set up for the feature?
No, we're just going to have to see how much the track burns off and adjust it accordingly.
Well, you've heard one driver weigh in on how they felt in Heat Race 1. We'll hear from more later. But on the other side of this break, we watch the other half go full throttle in Heat Race number 2. That's coming up right here on the Atomic Power Racing Hour.